Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some more creative building, but instead of a more structure based, we're going to do something that's more in tune with nature. Now this still will be a structure, because what I'm planning to do is a treehouse, but I also want to make sure I do all the training around it as well, just to have a whole immersive environment area. Anyway, I've researched a few things, I've looked up some reference images, and I think I'm ready to start. So without further ado, let's get straight into the time lapse and I'll tell you a little bit about what I've done at the end. Let's go! So usually here is where I would show you the final build, and are you ready? Ta-da! It's just a bunch of trees. So unfortunately, as some of you might know, Apex has had some issues with the server hosting, and there has been some backrolls. So this was actually the second time I tried to complete the build, because the first time also got rolled back, and unfortunately I finished this whole build only for it to get rolled back overnight. So a bit disappointing, but the whole build was originally here, I promise. Unfortunately it's not anymore. I do still have the replay shots though, so I will just roll some of those with my audio in the background. I'll just kind of talk a little bit about each section of the build like I usually would, except I can't of course fly around to it because it is not here anymore. Very disappointing, but you know, I guess this build lives in the abyss now, or at least just in the replay mod shots that you're about to see now. So actually we can do a little fly through with our replay mod, which is the past. You would have seen all of this. There I am. There's me. I'll chuck F1 on so you don't see the little stuff in the background. But this was what we had done. We'd done this whole like terrain stuff, which looked really, really cool. And oh, we've got a bit of a weird glitch. Let's just, there we go. Play it for a second. Oh, it's kind of, there we go. So yeah, we've got all of these trees. We've got this really cool design, which I liked. I tried to do, I think there's about 3 or 4 different types of trees in this forest because we wanted some variety. So we've got, of course, this main one, which was the first tree that I built. Sorry, my cat is next to me and it's just bumped me with his head. But yeah, we got this first tree, which I built twice already because it got removed in the first rollback, and then we built this second tree here, which is also very cool. We like the different types of branches. We've got some that kind of stretch out a bit, and then I wanted to change it up with some color variation, and I saw a lot of trees were very grey in color, and so I did that. We used some of the pale oak logs here, and I thought it was cool to have a bit of detail of like the bark ripping off with I think it's the creaking heart, and yeah, I thought it was really cool just to have a bit of variation of the grey colour, and it fits in pretty well. You don't really notice it. And we also have these very small trees, which are kind of more bushes, but they still kind of add some foliage, which of course we have a bunch of foliage around, a bunch of bushes, and some moss patches, just some plants to kind of make it look a little bit more alive. Now let's go to the main build, which it's very sad that this is lost. I did work hard on this, but you know, unfortunate things happen, so it's okay. We have this main build, which I love the way it's kind of balanced. I looked at some reference images and I wanted to get this slightly modern or more contemporary treehouse look. One of my favourite features is the way I've used the looms up here. They just have a really cool depth to them, which I think fits very well underneath the dark oak roof, which I've also done a bunch of overgrownness to it. So we've got the leaves and some grass patches and obviously some vines just all around. Now this was actually a rare build that I did the interior. So as you can see, we've got some very basic furnishings and furniture. You can go up the stairs here and there's a massive bed we've got, and some more little furnitures. We've got some balconies around that just very cozy, very relaxing. That's what I wanted to get out of this build. And I did do the back as well, and the sides. Isn't that great? Very rare. And I also have this cool fence design, which we did with the trapdoors and the chains. Now on the floor just below the main house building, we've got a little kitchen bar set up and a little sitting area which has a campfire, which may not be the safest in this very wooden building, but we're going to ignore that for the time being. I also did a few little plants just here and there to have some potted plants just dotted around to give it a more natural vibe, which of course it is because it's right in the middle of the forest. But I think they look really cool. They make it look a bit more contained inside of this area. One of my favourite parts is these fairy lights. We've got a few dotted around just this bottom section, and we have a hammock, which may not look quite like a hammock, but I think that it can be understood enough. Like when you're looking at it from here, it looks like a hammock. From above it looks a bit strange. It was very hard to do it on the angle and make it look cool, but I think we did okay. I see it as a hammock. Sorry, we're going through the floor. It's very hard to navigate on the replay. But yeah, we've also got this little bar area with a few stools. One is pulled out, which just makes it a bit more immersive. A little rug and a fire pit area because of course a treehouse. Very campground-esque. And yeah, that's probably the main parts of the build that I can show you. I wish that I could walk around and actually show you in Minecraft, but unfortunately we can't do that, but I think the replay has done enough. So note to self, whenever you're building anything, just make sure you've made some backups or some copies, just dotted around in case. But that's alright, it's a learning opportunity. We all need to learn things one day. But yeah, I hope you love this build and love the overgrownness. I'm sorry this episode is a little bit all over the shop, it was just a bit of rollback, and I'm sorry it's a little bit late just because of this whole debacle, but that's okay. Usually right now I would F5 and wave at you, but we're in replay, and so I think, yeah, we're just invisible. We don't exist. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the build. I hope to see you in the next video, my next build or backyard episode. We'll see what happens, what comes first. It'll be a lot more structured than this one, I promise. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!